We are Silicon Valley entrepreneurs on a mission given to us by a council of enlightened souls on the other side of the veil to spread messages of hope about healing our planet. Welcome, I'm John Thomas, and this is Channeled Messages of Hope. One of the truly remarkable things we learn through our conversations with souls on the other side is about relationships. The relationships we form while on this side of the veil continue on the other side, and vice versa. And they continue evolving. And it's true not only of our human relationships, but our animal ones too. Those relationships continue, and they are precious. So today we would like to share with you what we learned from the other side about the importance and value of relationships, soul to soul, on this, the 7th episode of the Channeled Messages of Hope podcast. Before we play clips of the souls speaking through our friend Sam for you, we'd like to thank you for your support of our mission to help heal our planet. By spreading these messages of hope to those who are receptive, you help them connect with the love and support of the other side. Share with them the messages, and let them know that cmoh.show is where you can find us on YouTube, cmoh.show. And of course, our website, channeledmessagesofhope.com. And if the messages aren't well received by the people you offer them to, keep in mind what Albert Einstein, among others, told us, which you can hear for yourself in our audiobook, Channeled Messages of Hope by Carol and Thomas, that people these days are seeking the answers found here. Like in the parable of the sower, we are planting seeds. Some will find soil to grow in, and some won't. The people who aren't receptive to these messages just aren't ready. If that happens to you, move on with a light heart. The picture of the afterlife that emerged during our channeling sessions is one of dynamic relationships among us as a community of souls. On the other side, we share interests, passions, creations, and our hearts. Listen to this clip of how preservationist John Muir said it during a conversation with Carolyn, my wife and the author of Channeled Messages of Hope, through Sam.
What we do is we have the work that we left on Earth, and we create new work now, and we can't exactly share the physical form with those on Earth of our new creations, but we can help others who we want to sort of pick up the pen and carry on, or pick up the camera and carry on. So I think you could say that we're inspiring.
Through inspiring, do you give nudges or downloads into their minds?
Exactly. Well, it's like they think it's their idea, but it's really coming from us. This doesn't mean that they don't have free will to take that and go farther, but we like to share. That's all. We like to share.
How do you choose these beings on Earth with whom you would like to share your ideas?
Well, we don't really choose them. They sort of choose us. And what I mean by that is they're often inspired by us, and we have these thoughts that are going, as you could say, through the air like a transmission, and they're there for them to take if they want to pick that thought up.
Oh, so they're connecting to your wavelength.
Yes, that's a great way to say it.
The souls tell us that thoughts pass easily among them, and they can communicate with people on our side of the veil who are receptive. I get a funny picture in my head of Hogwarts portraits, hanging out and having a merry time joshing with the Hogwarts students passing by. That would be us on this side of the veil. John Muir calls it a creative collaboration, in answer to a question about the group of souls he's involved with on the other side who share a love of nature's beauty. Listen to this clip from the CMOH audiobook.
Well, I am part of a group that are sort of natural beauty enthusiasts. We share our art. I share my writing. Ansel Adams, he shares his photography, and I also loved photography. And we share this beauty with those on Earth, and we share this beauty with those who are here with us. A creative collaboration.
The souls tell us they have close relationships with each other, and some of those relationships carried over from their time together on Earth while alive in body. John Muir is still close friends with Teddy Roosevelt, his partner while on Earth for protecting and preserving nature's beauty. Samuel Clemens and Nikola Tesla are close too. Samuel was an investor in some of Nikola's endeavors. We would have never thought to speak with the author of beloved books such as Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, but in this clip, Nikola tells us why we should.
The person that I think would be very valuable to speak with is not an inventor, but somebody who I feel would be very valuable to speak with would be my friend, Samuel Clemens, and he would be a very good person to speak with for hope. He sees the flaws and the foibles in the human beings, and he's able to find hope, he's able to find humor. I feel he would be very good for you to speak with.
Samuel, in turn, spoke highly of Nikola and recalled spending time together in his lab.
Nikola is a very fine man. He is so humble and so kind and well-meaning. Very special soul. I used to hang out in his lab quite a bit because he was just fascinating, and I was just fascinated by what he was doing.
Kinship between souls is true for both sides of the veil. We would say between the dead and the living, but as you can hear, the souls, those people, are not gone. To say they are dead implies that they are no longer available to us. They are no longer around. But a very different picture emerges from the enlightening conversations with all 19 influential souls we chronicle in our book. The picture shows dynamic interaction between all of us on both sides of the veil. Relationships anchored in personal resonance and shared purpose. Rachel Carson, the marine biologist who blazed a trail during the 20th century as a female working in a science field, tells us that she is actively supporting and guiding today's female scientists. And she lived the role in her life on Earth while caring full-time for her elderly mother and adopted son.
I'm working with young scientists, young female scientists, and that's part of my role in to guide them and to help them advance in this area. I work with them to definitely to inspire them, to guide them. I am a guide for them, and I support them to keep going. I lead them in good directions and new directions. I make sure that they're protected. I want to see them flourish. And even today, John, women still have to fight for recognition in the sciences. And I'm there for them. I want to see them succeed and exceed. I want to see them take precedence, and I want to see them succeed.
If these female scientists, if they somehow knew to meditate about Rachel Carson and asked for your guidance, would it help?
Yes. I mean, that's, of course, it makes it easier for me to do the work when I'm not only guiding them, but when they recognize me as their guide. And that goes for everyone to, if you are able to call on your guide or guides in meditation, ask them to give you their name or give you their purpose for being with you. Ask them to show themselves to you in some way. That doesn't necessarily mean a physical picture of them, but just to ask. And those requests are answered because it makes it easier for the guides to do their work. when they are recognized. And then it becomes a one-to-one relationship rather than just trying to encourage from afar and trying to support from afar.
Take note of what she said about how she can be actively sought as a guide from the other side. Females interested in pursuing a career in science can meditate to reach out to her and call on her personally. Carolyn and I actually consulted John Muir about 3 redwood trees on our property that seemed to be in danger of falling after some extreme weather events here in Northern California a couple years ago. 3 arborists we consulted all said the trees had to come down. Mr. Muir, able to see exactly what was happening with the trees from the other side, said one was doing fine and the other 2 could be shored up. So we consulted one more arborist who unknowingly gave us the same assessment as Mr. Muir, and we're happy to say we saved those majestic trees. It's a new twist on the old saying about how it pays to have friends in high places. The relationships the souls spoke to us about aren't limited to human ones. Rachel's work to expose and ban toxic chemicals like DDT, an indiscriminate killer of hundreds of animal and insect species, is something she speaks in depth about in our conversation with her. Her years of research and writing and nonstop activism saved countless creatures. Unfortunately, the problem continues today as monarch butterfly populations are severely hit by the spraying of neonicotinoid pesticides and Roundup herbicide along their migration routes. It poisons the milkweed they depend on for breeding, and it needs to stop. So listen up, the Rachel Carsons of today. With a love of science and nature and a powerful voice, please take note that your care of these creatures gives you something in common with Miss Carson and John Muir, with Gandhi and Teddy Roosevelt, and the patron saint of animals, Francis of Assisi. Hear them speak and channel messages of hope. And in the meantime, here's Rachel in one of the most remarkable clips from the audiobook, where she talks about how the monarchs greeted her with a show of gratitude when she crossed over.
I'd also like to mention that when I transitioned, it was a beautiful moment because I was greeted by 1,000,000 monarch butterflies. You've never seen 1,000,000 monarch butterflies all at once, have you?
Another soul that spoke glowingly of his crossing over and about the people and beloved pets who greeted him is George Bush Sr., the 41st President of the United States. Let's hear from him.
When you cross over, you do have a feeling of incredible appreciation. My family means everything to me, and I was greeted by Robin, I was greeted by Bar, and I was greeted by my parents, and it was such a beautiful, beautiful crossing over. I was so filled with joy to see everyone. I had the best parents in the world who believed in me and who supported me. And I just had the most wonderful, wonderful time. And I was met with all of my dogs. And you'd have no idea what it's like to have all of those puppy licks on your face. And to be able to see Bar, my wife, and hold her in my heart, it was beautiful to be back together. We were always together, and we're together now, and it's the best thing that could have happened in that way.
Mr. Bush told us about a relationship that's going strong on the other side between him and another president who crossed over before him. We'll let him tell you about it.
It's like when you're in a body, you're drawn to people that are in your circle with commonalities. But I am actually great friends with Lyndon B. Johnson, Lyndon Baines, and he is someone that I don't know if people realize what a huge heart he had. He was one of those guys who, felt that he had to push it all down, but he had a huge heart. And we didn't always agree on everything, but that's for sure. But he's a very special person with a huge heart. And I can't think of anyone else that was in this position of president that was more well-meaning that in my lifetime for the country. Such a great heart and sense of humanity, and was a very, very good person in a body, and is all of those things now. We have become great friends, and he's someone that I admire.
We sensed a camaraderie among the souls we spoke with to get their perspective on what's happening in the world today and how to help. They share a deep concern for the environment here and how we treat each other. And we were amazed to hear how they work together to come up with ideas for us and transmit them to people on our side who are receptive. Nicola told us they never impose their will. They send us thoughts, inspirations, pictures, dreams, and they, well, all of them apparently, are available to us on this side of the veil if they want to be. They are guiding lights for human life, spirit guides whose reach extends to both sides of the veil. A veil that, like a two-way mirror, lets them see us just fine, but on this side, we only see the reflections of our physical selves. On the other side, the souls interact with camaraderie, and soul-to-soul relationships form around what brings us together. In episode 2, we brought you the fascinating story about the ongoing relationship between the Einsteins, Albert and his first wife Mileva, on the other side. It's a story about two soulmates that you can hear all about in Channeled Messages of Hope and the clips we share in that episode. It's something you have to hear for yourself, and it just may help you better understand and navigate the most important relationships in your life right now. Today, we'd like to conclude by sharing the story of actor Jeremy Renner's near-death experience. You might have seen him in movies like Mission Impossible, Avengers, and Arrival. On New Year's Day in 2023, Jeremy was crushed by a 14,000-pound snow removal machine outside his home. He died and experienced himself as spirit. And then he came back and started a long recovery. He told Oprah in an interview that what he experienced on the other side was a community of divine love. Love is God, and it's all that exists, says Jeremy about what he learned. But the part that really caught my attention and served as an inspiration for this episode comes from what he told Kelly Ripa on her podcast. Let's hear the clip. At the beginning, he says, "I am is such a limited construct." He'd been talking about how experiencing himself as alive on the other side changed him. And then he drops this revelation.
Time is a human construct. It's useless. Not linear. It's not how it exists. It's just like the most remedial version of your spirit's existence is being on earth. This is so remedial. Language and things, all these things, and blah, blah, blah. It's all knowing, all experiencing all at the same time, all at once.
So you have a totally new perspective and viewpoint on life. I mean, you must now. Now you certainly must.
I mean, it's a great confirmation, It's a great confirmation. And it makes me, a man that didn't want to come back, really be able to be back here and live it on my terms. As the captain of my own ship, I'm going to live life on my own terms. And for nobody else, very clear, the white noise is ripped away. I repel the things I gave credence to. You can't stomach the idea of the things I gave credence to prior to the accident, why I gave so much value to things that have zero value. So I invest into no stocks or bonds. I invest down to crypto or Bitcoin. I invest into love and my shared relationships that I experience love with, because that is the only thing that you take with you.
I really hope you caught that part at the end where he says, I invest into love and my shared relationships that I experience love with, because that is the only thing you take with you. The same message has been said by thousands of other people who have crossed over and come back after a near-death experience. And we are happy to affirm it through our conversations with souls on the other side. It's a message repeated throughout our book. So press that like button, subscribe. It really, really helps. Remember that cmoh.show will take you directly to our YouTube channel. And tell us in the comments how these messages of hope are making an impact on your life and your loved ones. I'm John Thomas. Thank you for joining us.